What's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. And this morning we have yet another amazing guest. As always, my friends, this community continues to rock and roll and do big things. We're excited to be talking this morning to a retired nurse who's finding new purpose by building her business online. Let's jump right into this episode. Kim, welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you?
Fantastic, Kim. Good to see you. Where are you calling in from this morning?
Michigan. It's a little chilly today.
All right. Well, hey, come on down to Florida and get you some of this warmth.
I know, right?
Yeah. Well, hey, Kim, what if we go back to the reason why, or the continued reason why you want to build a digital marketing business? What is that? What motivated you to get started? What keeps you going?
Well, it's kind of twofold, but I was in the military.
Thank you for your service, by the way.
Welcome. Proud to serve. But I got hurt on my last mobilization. And while I was there, I knew because I know the military that I was done because of my injury. So while I was sitting in my apartment over there in Honduras, I started scrolling through looking for what could I do, because I knew my life was going to change. So that's how I found Legendary, actually. And then had that in my head. And then in the meantime, also, we had our granddaughters, and which we just adopted a couple weeks ago. And those two things together was the main reason, because I knew my retirement was not going to take care of those girls like I wanted to. And we have 6 kids already, and I did not want to repeat history, going back saying, we're going to go to Disney next year. Sorry, we can't go. We're going to go next year. We're going to go next year. And when we finally went, they were 16. And I said, I'm not doing that again, ever. And so I couldn't go back to my job. I knew the military was going to make me retire. They did pretty quickly, actually. Had a bunch of surgeries, and before the surgery started, I actually got started with Legendary. So I got back in May. And I think the 1st of July I got in. I went through the challenge, and then waited a little bit to think things out, and then I grabbed the blueprints. I said, nope, I'm doing this. I can do it.
I'm sorry. I said good for you. I have myself muted there. Well, that's quite a story, and quite a quite a change in life direction with this injury, and knowing that you were going to be relieved of duty, I guess would be the best way to put it. And still wanting to change the direction of your children and grandchildren's life. That's powerful. And I think a lot of us can relate to that, constantly wanting to do better for, our kids, and having that as a motivation. What's it been like for you to go from, I assume you were you were a nurse in the Army. Am I correct there? What was that?
So yes, I went into the Army as a trauma nurse.
Okay.
I had a civilian career and a Army career. And then as the years went on and I got up into rank, then the last 6 years I commanded a hospital.
Okay.
So, and I was like a deputy surgeon over in Honduras, and I oversaw the hospital and their policies and stuff like that. Made sure the baby was safe.
Okay. So what was that like for you to go from that type of work and a totally unrelated field for the most part, to starting online and kind of learning these skills? That seems like quite a big transition. A lot of people have a hard time making that transition. They either tell themselves they're not technically skilled, or they, have something else that comes up, whether it be a limiting belief or something else that they kind of talk themselves out of it, or just kind of get into struggle mode. What's this process been like for you, going from, not really employee, but in a sense you're an employee of the United States of America, and also in a totally different field. What's this transition been like, going from that to entrepreneur?
Well, I have been an entrepreneur in the past. My husband and I used to own a boat dock and parts store. And so part of me was like, all right, babe, this is going to take us over because I'm doing this. I was the head of household already. So I had to do something. There was no way I could sit at home and do nothing. And that entrepreneurship literally sucked the life out of us. Our kids had to be there all day long, every day. Now they're with us every day in a more relaxing setting, and I'm able to start putting this together. And I will tell you, like, it was hard in the beginning because I'm used to a very, I'm a trauma nurse in the ER and military. Put those two together and you're double A personality.
Yeah,
Now it's like, I got to have things a certain way.
sure.
And the difference, I think, for me was just understanding all of this because it was totally foreign to me. But my heart knew I can do that. I know I can do that. No problem. I can do this. I was a little jitterish when I got on first time. Then the other thing was I started and then I continued to have 3-4 surgeries in that first year that I was doing this. So a little bit of narcotics and a lot of pain and trying to manage children. And I was emotionally having a problem letting go of my military life. I really loved being in the military. And to me, I mean, I got to retire and that was good. I was like months short of 20 years, but they gave me my 20 years. So it was good.
Yeah.
And, but I was trying to separate from that. And then going through all those surgeries, it was in here, but all those other things were clouding me, and what I was studying and I'm looking, and it just wasn't making sense. But I kept doing it because that's what I was told to do, right? Keep doing it. And then this last January, I said, I got to change something. I feel like I'm on the hamster wheel. On the hamster wheel, I'm not getting off. Doing the same thing. It's not changing. So I felt better than I had in the last bit, And then I went back to the blueprints. I started looking at things in there again and really taking notes. And it was really sticking this time because I wasn't clouded by medications or surgeries and I had gotten past I was actually enjoying not having to go anywhere for the first time. I fought it for a bit, but it was nice. And I was not being so hard on myself about letting that go. Because in my head, I'm like, I can still help people. And this is how I'll do it. So I changed my social medias. I started all over in April when all the compliance stuff started coming down. And I started from scratch. And I said, I've been sitting here at this for this long. I might as well just start over. I'm not going anywhere. So I started over in April, and the growth has been a lot better. And I learned and tweaked, and I'm continue to tweak and take guidance from you and the group and Bonnie and I've friends that I've made. I never thought in a million years I would be friends with somebody on the internet. But, like, I've made a lot of friends in this, and I feel like I'm in a community again. So I feel like I'm part.
Mm.
Now that, and also, I say I was comfortable on camera, but I probably was not as comfortable as I thought I was.
Yeah.
But I am more comfortable now. I'm more, what do I want to say? I'm not afraid to try something else, or not be so serious, or because that's something I was locked into also, but get yourself some little kids after you've done raised your kids, and you'll get past that.
Yeah. Well,
So,
I love that, and I love the I love lots of the things that you're hitting on, which that I love them. Is it get started or start over.
mm-hmm.
The other one is, yeah, don't quit before the miracle happens, whatever your miracle is. I mean, some of us feel like quitting every day. I know the beginning is hard. I remember when I was starting out, I felt quite desperate and hopeless. And that kind of feeling of I need something to happen now
Mm-hmm.
is hard to battle when entrepreneurship is really building a business. The first few years
Right.
are really a time where you're learning and growing, and then the money catches up. Not that you can't make money in the first year, second year, but you're the average person who builds a business and sticks to it, a real entrepreneur, not a wantrepreneur, not somebody who just comes in, throws a little spaghetti at the wall and then leaves, but somebody who says, I'm going to commit to building this business, getting serious about this, learning these skills, investing time, money, energy, everything into it. Similar to how you described with your previous business, where you all were as a family invested into that. I think you said it was a marina or a boat docking company, where you had the kids there. You had, I mean, it, that was, everybody knew you were in business. The
Yeah.
kids, it was a real thing. And sometimes, because we're doing our, little internet business on the phone or on the computer, it's just kind of this fantasy make believe thing that's kind of out there that I'm kind of doing. It's like a game. I'm going to play a little game on my phone, and I can't expect results if I'm going to treat it like a game. A game is something I pick up and I play when I have time.
Right.
A business is something that I work and make time for.
That's right.
I build my life around my business, not my business around my life. Same way that you build your life around a job.
Right.
You don't go to your boss, oh, I'm so happy to have this job now, Mr. Boss Man. I just wanted to let you know when I'll be in.
Right.
How would that go over in the Army or in one of your other careers, your civilian career? Yeah. Hey, I'd like to just let you know what my schedule will be.
I'm not feeling it today.
I'm not feeling right. I'm not feeling it today. I just posted a video on my Instagram talking about we've got it all backwards. We need to call in healthy instead of calling in sick.
Right.
Unfortunately, the only way to make that a reality is to have your own business, be your own boss, make your own schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Still, in order to call in healthy into your own business, you have to have enough days in the deposits that the business will actually be okay without you being there for a day.
Mm-hmm.
The beautiful thing about internet marketing and social media marketing is that I actually can do that. I can schedule automations. I can schedule post. For the most part, this business is pretty evergreen. I don't have to be standing over it like a cash register all day long, but I do need to figure out what is my daily method of operation? What are my high income activities? Because there's a bunch of stuff I could do, but there's like 3 things that I need to do every day that are the most important things, that even if I don't get all the other busy work done, I get those things done. Kim, for you, what are those things?
In their business?
In your business, what are the things that are the high income producing activities for you?
Talking to people that reach out to me, for sure. Emails, which I wasn't doing. I wasn't even checking those emails in the beginning. And my friend Kim, she's like, girl, you got to get in them emails. So, I've been doing that, like that's where the money is. Like, oh, you get caught up in the video part, and like even your family has to learn too. In the beginning, my husband's always supported me. He called me GI jerk when I got in the military, but because he would never do that, but he's always proud of me, right? And he at first was like, well, you're always on your phone. And I was a lot, because I'm trying to learn everything. I'm trying to do everything. And it took me forever to do a video. And now, and of course they were always, it was like, as soon as I turned that thing on, somebody would be yelling across the room, or like needing me right that second. Now they've even pivoted, and they know it's important that I do this. So reward is the girls get to be in some of the videos. John's not too keen on that yet, but I've got him in a couple. And and then that it is my work. And I just did a video the other day, and it caught me off guard for a second, but and I was wondering where my daughter got this. My oldest one just turned 11, and she said, what does, oh, what was it? Don't work to live. What does that mean? Don't work to live. And I said, well, it is exactly what it means. Like when I used to go, and I was a trauma nurse, and I was gone 14 hours because I had travel time and get showered before I come home time. And then I'd come home, I'd be up for 10 minutes, and I'm like, see ya, I'm in bed. Then I'm in bed I would sleep fast. I had time sleep. I would sleep for 5 hours so I could see them in the day before I went back and did it again. And then every other weekend, I was a reservist. I was gone to a different state, or I was being sent to do something else. So I said, that's living to work. Working to live, because I had no choice. Now, fortunately, you don't have to worry about that, because now I'm home and I can work this business here. So we don't have to live like that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good for you. And there's a lot of truth to what you're saying here. And it gets better. It gets better over time. You get more organized, and you are able to create your own system, and your system is going to look different than the next person's system. You mentioned routine and structure before, because that was what you were so used to in your previous careers. What does your routine and structure look like now? How do you fit this into the pockets of your day? And what can we learn about how you found your groove?
So that was exactly it. When I was trying to figure out I'm overwhelmed. I'm doing this all the time. It's not, I know this can't be right. And, I was already military minded. I get up at 5. I used to get up at 4. Well, now I sleep until 5, and I get up so I can be up before the girls, have my coffee, have some relaxed time. And I start going through things then that I don't want to do once they get up. because I want to be there for them. So from 5 to like 7. Well, now they go to school. I got to get them up at 6. So now I got 1 hour, but I'm faster at it now. So I go through, check my DMs, I answer them. Um, I try to go in and do my emails, go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, and get dressed, get them up, and then later, after things settle down, I'll post a video that I made yesterday or the day before. But like this weekend, this was Labor Day weekend, and we were trying to do some things together and we had work to do. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to kill myself trying to make new videos this weekend. I did a couple and then I reposted some from months ago, and just to give them that time. And we had a great weekend. And then last night, I'm like, okay, back to work. So then I put them to bed. And in the evening, I'll finish up whatever I got to do or prepare for the next day. And that is getting easier because I put a plan together. I know when I'm going to do stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's a great point also about simply repurposing content on a day where you may need to, or where you may not have extra time. I mean, this is one of the benefits of having an online business where nowadays I mean, the name of the game is creating content. That's what drives traffic.
Right.
And that's the kind of foundation of all of what we're all doing. I mean, it doesn't even matter if you own a brick and mortar or a traditional business nowadays. We're all content creators nowadays. We're all running either free or paid ads because it's the only way. And you know what? Since the beginning of the internet, that's all we all have done. It's always been that. When I came on 15 years ago, we were all creating content back then too. It wasn't on Instagram and TikTok because those didn't exist, but it was on Facebook. It was on YouTube. It was on Google ads. Facebook ads began to get popular. And then during the pandemic, when TikTok launched and sort of popularized the short form video in these algorithms that allowed you to get your free videos, organic videos in front of a cold audience, something that you used to have to pay to do. The game changed for a lot of people. You are now suddenly able to get views on your videos way more than you ever could on your free videos. And so the game has changed and it's continuing to change. Now we've got artificial intelligence. We've got memes, we've got, all kinds of different types of content that we're able to create. And, but a lot of the foundational principles are the same. I mean, it's about getting content out. As you said, it's about emailing your list, generating those leads. For 15 years, people have been saying email marketing's dead. Well, it's not dead. You still have to put in your email to create an account on any legitimate website. You create the account with your email. So that's how they get in contact with you. When they start asking for your chip number or something else, we'll know that email's dead. But until then, everybody's still using their email in order to create accounts on all the popular sites, government sites, everything like that. You enter your email. So email is still king. That's where people go to do business. So emailing, generating those leads, giving something free away in exchange for somebody's email, giving them calls to action to opt into your list. Of course, having people reach out to you on social media is a different look for people, but still, that's the foundation. This business is not that hard, but it's about consistent action, and it's about gaining momentum over time as you're building that consistent action, and eventually it catches up and you start to develop traffic streams and income streams that once were just tumbleweeds. It takes time to build these things up. What have you learned about yourself throughout this process and your ability to be able to execute doing something that's brand new, your ability to start over? Is it something different? What have you learned about Kim?
What actually? um I think the biggest part, and I've always just been like this, and is that I'm the hardest on me. And I've had to learn, like when I make a video, if I don't like it, I don't change it, whether I like it or not.
Mm.
Oh my God, look at that wrinkle. I didn't have no makeup on one day. I don't care. Now I don't care. In the beginning, I did. I'm not going to get up and get dressed and do all that. But I am the hardest on myself, for one. And just being in the position that I've been in for over 20 years, both careers, that that A-type personality about me is that it's okay to ask for help. And that's what I wasn't doing.
Mm.
And you know, even if I was to go on support 101, and I did, and I still do, and I do it more comfortably now. But there was a time where I didn't want to ask questions because I don't want to take up time from somebody else. No, I need to do it on my own. He's going to think, this is the fourth time I've been on here, he's going to think I'm stupid.
Mm.
Just that mental, that. And then one day, my husband, he even said, he's like, you don't know this business? How are you going to learn from yourself? You have opportunity to use that support. Why aren't you asking your question? I don't know, because I whatever, just do it myself. And he's
Mm.
like, doing it yourself ain't doing anything right now. He's right. He was right. That was before. So now I ask questions. I need help, I ask questions.
Mm.
I wanted guidance. I mean, I learned a lot over the time that I've been in here. And I still felt like I was not missing something, but I needed a little more honing in. So that's why I got into the mentorship group. I said, I'm going to do this because I want to do it right. I want to be legit. Not that I was doing it wrong, but I want to learn all I can learn.
Mm.
So I can teach somebody else to do the same thing one day. And I do little pieces because I know more than I did when I started. But that's been the hardest thing for me, is saying it's okay. You can ask for help. You don't have to do this all by yourself. And the other thing is just my mindset. You know, I already had, like, I've read all the books. I've read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I've read Think and Grow Rich. I've read all of those books in the past, and now I've reread some of them. I have them in my little library. And I know that you need to constantly be telling yourself that. And I think that sometimes you get so caught up in everything that you forget to feed your own mind. And that's what I've learned. I take time out to read, or I listen to your mindset thing so many times I almost could say it verbatim, or
Mhm.
or my Bible, or whatever Bible study I might be doing, or whatever. But make that time to feed myself. I
Mm.
have to do for everybody everything. I'm not the commander anymore.
Mm.
Uh, I don't have to jump on somebody's chest and save a life anymore.
Mm.
I can take that pressure off of me. Because actually, you know what? Sometimes that made me a hard person. I had to be hard, and I couldn't let myself be soft,
Mm.
because that guy might die, or that kid may die in my trauma room,
Yeah.
or soldiers might get hurt, or something happens, or they have a things,
Yeah.
stress, and then you just have to pull back and say, I need to feed myself. And I wasn't doing that. Because then when something big happens, like I feel like what happened to me was big. I was devastated. I got hurt doing a simple thing, but it was so bad that it hurt me where I couldn't do my job. And as soon I heard the little things in my head, I've been in long enough, I knew they were going to make me retire.
Mm.
And when it finally happened, I was devastated. And you want to know why?
Mm.
The reason I was devastated is because I hadn't been feeding my own mind.
Mm.
I've always been a go-getter. I've always made things happen. I mean, I have didn't finish high school, had a baby when I was 17,
Mm.
tried to get into college later. When 9/11 happened, I wanted to get back in. I wanted to go to school. They said, well, no, you're a high school dropout. I'm like, okay, what do I got to do? Well, you can take your GED, but you're never going to be in our nursing program.
Mm.
You made your choice. That was told to me by somebody. And I went and took my GED. I got 99% on a GED. I had never gone to 11th or 12th grade. Went from that to I got in the nursing program. I graduated with honors. I was the vice president of my class. Moved on, got a bachelor's, got a master's. I got in the military as soon as I graduated from my nursing program. I was told you'll never retire. They tried to trick me. They made me swear in 3 times. That's why my husband calls me GI jerk. And the reason was because they were trying to get me in past my birthday so that I would not be able to retire.
Mm.
But we figured that out, and I fought and got my first date back, and that's why I was allowed to retire. I made all the ranks. I did all the things, even when I didn't know how to do it. And that's the same with here. Like when you're in the military and you walk in the door and they say, okay, you're going to teach a class on this. And you're like, the first time I wore my uniform, I don't even, what are you talking about? Figured out. They make leaders out of you. You think you can't. And so all of those experiences in my life where I have overcome the things that have been thrown at me, just proved to me that I can do it, whether I know what it is or not. And yeah, I doing the funnels and stuff, cringe. I always had somebody else to do that for me.
Mm.
Well, I didn't know it. And the funny thing is, my mom and I used to teach word processing when computers first came out. And then I was gone and for like a couple of years. And while I was gone, the internet evolved.
Mm.
It changes so fast that in 2 or 3 years, when I came back, I had no idea what was happening. And I had to learn it all over again. And the same thing with this. So those are the things I think I had to sit back and change my mindset. I didn't have the mindset that I couldn't do it. I knew I could. The mindset was that I had to do it perfect.
Mm.
Even though I was doing it anyway, I was hard on myself because I wanted it to be perfect. I wanted it to look like your videos or that girl's videos. And shoot, for a while, I couldn't figure out the lighting or nothing, but I did it anyway.
Mm.
I figured out the lighting now. But yeah, I've learned a lot of things about myself in this journey.
I mean, I guess so. And such awesome takeaways. You know, sometimes we have a difficult time spotting the lessons and identifying the takeaways. You know, life is happening, we feel like sometimes to us instead of for us.
Mhm.
And so when we feel like it's happening to us, we aren't seeing any of the learning lessons. But when we switch the frame and say, wow, how is life happening for me to teach me?
Mhm.
All of a sudden, all these lessons and these takeaways start appearing. And we start learning about ourselves, which is the most interesting person you're ever going to learn about.
That's right.
It is. I mean, we spend so much time in school and everywhere else learning about everybody else, learning about people who are not even alive anymore, right? I mean, God bless them. I understand they're important people in our history, but what about you? What do you know about you? What do you know about your perfectionism? What do you know about your personality? What do you know about how you handle stress? What do you know about your coping mechanisms? What do you know about I had this amazing realization. I was talking to Taylor Shaw. He's one of our amazing BPAs here. We were on a cruise celebrating another BPA's birthday last week, Andre Miller. Many of you saw that from social media, some pictures that we posted. And I was talking to Taylor, and he was like, I forget the question that he asked me. Oh, I know what it was. He said, how do you relax?
Hmm.
How do you relax? And I said, well, one of the things that helps me relax is when I have taken care of myself. And what I mean by that is that it really helps me relax when my space is clean. It helps me relax when I've had a workout that day. So I feel like I've accomplished something. My body's a little bit tired. It helps me relax when I've had something good to eat, usually something healthy. Not, it's hard for me to relax if I've had a big, nasty, sloppy, greasy meal, because then I feel like a big blob, right? So once I, what I realized was once I do self care, I actually am able to relax. And that was sort of an epiphany for me in that moment. Now, this was just a week ago that this conversation happened. There was a long time in my life to where self care was not even a word I knew, didn't even know that word existed. I took care of myself last. And I also did things, put things in my body, treated myself in my body poorly, whether that was through drugs and alcohol or just abandoning myself in other ways, my needs. And so for me to have said that out loud as an answer to how I relax was quite a moment for me because I said, wow, all that hard work of personal development over these years has actually worked.
Right.
Now I actually relax after I do adequate self care, take
Mhm.
care of myself, and then I feel like I can really relax. And not relax because I'm just so tired, but relax because I feel accomplished and like my needs are met.
Right.
And that's one of the things that I've learned. I mean, again, that's our ability when we feel like life is happening for us instead of to us, we can see the learning lessons, we can identify the takeaways. And then as we practice communication, one of the things about shooting videos and doing marketing is you're practicing your communication. Warren Buffett, the greatest legendary investor of all times, made a quote, said this one time, that you can increase your income over your lifetime up to, and I believe it's more, but 50% by improving your communication. So this is another thing that we're doing here in this marketing process. Many of you, I think, struggle because you haven't worked on your communication for a long time. So it's hard for you to actually communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Hard for you to communicate on video. It's hard for you to communicate via the written word. I get it.
Yep.
You've had people talking to you your whole life, giving you orders, thinking for you.
Mm-hmm.
We all have. So when it's time for you to do the writing, talking, directing, communicating, clarifying, articulating your thoughts. I mean, this is why it's such a huge trend right now to just identify our feelings in all of this kind of emotional healing and trauma, and all this stuff is very popular content on the internet right now, and just popular amongst this generation. Why? Because for the first time ever, human beings at a mass scale are trying to communicate our feelings and learn how to identify what we're thinking and feeling, and then articulate that and actually work through difficult and traumatic experiences with healthy coping mechanisms, instead of with drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, sex, porn, gambling, workaholism, all the other things that have previously been our coping mechanisms as a society.
That's
And
right.
so, man, this is a real personal development journey. I believe your income can't outgrow your personal development. Let me say that again. I believe that your income can't outgrow your personal development. So that's why this personal development journey, this confidence building journey, along with your entrepreneur journey, has to go hand in hand,
Mm-hmm.
because your income can't outgrow your personal development. If your confidence is here, your income is not going to supersede that. You're not going to make more than how confident you are.
Right.
You gain confidence first and through the process, and the money follows. And so, it's inspiring to hear somebody like yourself who's in this kind of, you know, second or even third phase of your career, 20 years in the military, I mean, civilian career and an ER nurse, I mean, all these things. And yet you've come into this as a learner with an open mind and an open heart,
Mm-hmm.
utilizing the skill sets that you've developed throughout your life. Those are still in friends. The reason why what you've done throughout your life is useful here is because you're not dumb. You've been good at a job. Your ability to learn things is there. This is just different, and it's going to take some time. Don't quit before the miracle happens. The miracle is when you develop confidence and you start to feel like, oh shit, I can do this. That's the miracle. It's not, oh my gosh, I, hit a lucky number on a slot machine. That's a different kind of miracle. That's if that's the miracle you're looking for, go play the lotto. Don't play with entrepreneurship, because
Right.
that miracle is about gaining confidence and feeling like, oh wow, I got this. I can do this. I'm feeling some swag. I'm starting to kind of find my groove, you
Yeah.
know, and it's a beautiful feeling.
And I just want to tell a little story there. What you were saying is like, I remember back when I was a nurse intern, they had just started using nurse interns. That means you're not a nurse yet, but you've been through enough of the program to be called the nurse intern and you're able to do more things than others. Like you could start an IV, or you could do, they've changed it since then, because that was years ago. Start an IV or do anything more invasive than you could as a assistant or a tech, what we call them in the ER. So I walked into a room. It was the first time I'd been without my preceptor as a nurse intern, and I had to start this gentleman's IV. He was an older gentleman, and the wife, and we get some of these sometimes, she's sitting there with a notebook. So immediately I'm like, oh boy, here we go. She's going to be the one that writes every little thing I say or do. I breathed wrong, whatever. And she stopped and she said, I hope this isn't your first time. I said, first time what? She goes, starting an IV. And I said, today it is. And I started that IV. You know what? That did give me confidence. I didn't miss. I didn't, I didn't have to make her more fearful by saying, well, it is, like I wouldn't have done that. But, just you do. I feel that feeling still, like how confident I felt walking out of there, because I calmed her, and I did what I had to do. And it was my first time doing it without somebody there, So every time you do something more in your business, the more confident you're going to be. And saying even to yourself, you can do this. I'm going to do this. It may not always be right, but that's the greatest part. How do you know if it's right if you don't do it? How do you know if it's wrong or right until you know if it's wrong or right? And then you tweak it.
That was for this whole episode. My friend, it's been a pleasure and just great to talk to you this morning. So many nuggets in here. You just backed a big old truck up and dumped, 1,000,000 pounds of gold nuggets on our lap this morning. And it's just a beautiful thing to cover this and hear your story. So come back and see me on the show in the near future. Keep us posted on your journey. Stay legendary. And thank you for your service. Thank you for your story. And we'll talk to you really soon. Okay.
Okay, see you soon.
All right, Kim. Thanks. All right, my friends, you can go and follow and find Kim over on TikTok and Instagram. Make money with Nana Kim, Nana Kim. Make money with Nana Kim. I'm also on Instagram over at David Sharpe _official. This was a great episode to listen to in terms of confidence and mindset. This is somebody who's done a lot of things and accomplished a lot of things in her life and has a mindset that's been developing for multiple decades and has used that to come in here and to, get started and start over and continue down the path. Most importantly, taking action every day and then taking the feedback from that and learning from it and continuing the journey. Entrepreneurship is not a destination, friends. It's a journey. And so you need to understand that and start developing your own experience for you to be sharing and learning from, just like Kim has this morning with us. It's just a beautiful process, my friends, and I thank Kim for her story. All right, my friends, if you want to get started with our challenge, get into it. Start it. If you're watching this right now and you're wondering, God, how do I get started? Go to legendarymarketer.com/enroll and start our 5-day challenge. You can learn, you can launch, and you can learn to lead inside of your business by starting with that challenge. If you want to step the learning experience up to the next level, enroll in our blueprints. Kim alluded to those several times over the course of this episode, but it's the blueprints along with the group coaching on how to launch your online business using the core 4 business models that we teach here, selling information online. Okay. You can also check out our mastermind. You can enroll at that link, legendarymarketer.com/enroll. If you want to get a text message reminder in the morning every time we go live, you can go ahead and click the link here. I'm putting it in the chat, but it's legendarymarketer.com/WUL. Stands for Wake Up Legendary. legendarymarketer.com/WUL. We'll send you a little notification on Facebook Messenger when we go live at 10 a.m. Eastern time every morning. And don't forget, we upload the audio of all of these episodes on the major podcast platforms. Just go to those and type in Wake Up Legendary, and you'll be able to listen to these recordings in your ears, your ear pods, your, headphones, whatever you have when you're working out, doing the dishes, walking the dog, whatever you do. never underestimate the power of listening to these episodes while taking our curriculum. It's a wonderful way to integrate the stories and experience that people have had going through our education and launching their business. Get off the sidelines, get started, or start over today. You deserve it. Your business is waiting for you. The life that you want is waiting for you. So all you have to do is take action and go after it. And we're here to support you every step of the way. All right, my friends, get out of here. Have a fantastic day. Be legendary. We'll see you back here tomorrow, same place, same time, for another episode of Wake Up Legendary. Thanks again, Kim, and everybody in the comments. Thank you for your love, your support, your presence here. You make Wake Up Legendary an amazing thing to do for you 5 days a week. Who else does this? Who else interviews their clients every single day, 5 days a week, live with no prep, no script, no BS, just straight experience, conversation, authenticity, transparency? Let's go. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another episode. Have a great day. Peace.